Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another live stream. My name's Lewis, also known as MrCameraJunkie, where I remind you to upgrade your skills and not your gear. I hope you find yourself well, and if you're watching this on the replay, make sure you leave a comment down below that says replay squad or hashtag replay, so I know who's actually watching this on the back end. So thank you for stopping by. As always, my name's Lewis, also known as MrCameraJunkie. I always start my live streams with a tip of the day, so let's get to it. Perfect. Okay. Tip of the day is USB capture cards that are not too expensive. I believe this capture card I purchased for around $12 or maybe $15 on Amazon, and wow, have they been a lifesaver. Right now, on top of that, I wanted to emphasize that I am running this live stream, and hopefully everything is sounding and looking good. I'm running it off of this Mac right here. I have two of them side by side, but the left side here is what's running this live stream, and I'm gonna reference the specs that I'm running on this machine and how well it's actually doing the job, because it really impressed me, which is why I'm running ECamm tonight, which is the basis. But as always, Elgato is a name brand, so unless you're going to be doing a live stream or need a video capture that's actually in 4K and be using 4K image out, it's really not necessary to spend all the extra money, and you can save a lot and get a lot done. Now, the reason why I have this capture card here available, even to show you that I'm not using on the live stream now, is because of the work that this machine is doing and how impressed I am with it. So let's get back to this. Man, I'm impressed with this setup. I had purchased 3 capture cards to actually have the ability to use this camera as my main, use my A6100 as my shoulder cam, which is the feed that you were seeing, and then I was using this computer that I'm using right now. I was using this to just use it as a search engine or as my Google web browser. So this capture card here was actually just dedicated to the feed that was coming from that computer. So I would switch to it just so that I can have that ability to be able to like search something live on the spot. Well, what's happening with this ECamm program is that there was a couple of things that, you know, I wasn't aware of, and once I was privy to it, I was like, this actually could do everything that I needed to do. One of them is being this NDI source, which allows you to connect things via Bluetooth and also connect like your web browser to a page, so that you don't need another capture card or to try to finagle what I was doing just to get the picture. But even that, there's a screen share mode, and the screen share mode, I believe we just set it up here. Let me see if I got it right. You see, let me see. No, where is it? I know it's around here. I thought I had it right. I thought it was Command S. I'm probably gonna check the chat here and see if I can get that going. But I know that there's a way that I can do the screen share, and once it's available, you're on my desktop and I'm just on this little bubble on the right hand side, which is exactly what I wanted. So I'm gonna get to the chat now and let's see how everything is coming across. From what it looks like to me, man, it looks like it's doing an excellent job. So, well, now let's check. Right now, everything on, man, and you know what? All I have to say is I'm really impressed because it's totally tidied up my setup. I'm gonna go back to it. Look at this. I'm like clean again. I'm so surprised. So I'm over here just I have my entire setup. Like I kind of gained back my desk again, which is what I think has been impressed me the most out of this entire thing. That's, I think, where I'm at. So, okay. Okay, right off bat, we have Scott and Rob saying hello. He's saying he's on the road. Randall's giving the thumbs up. Okay, check that out. Nice. And that's the other thing about ECamm. I can put the text on the screen. Okay, let's just get to it, because I'm really like, I'm just kicking myself in the butt right now, because I'm like, this thing is doing everything that I was looking for it to do, and I was looking for the workaround, and it was all in this program. So Scott is saying hi to Randall. Then we have Sammy Superstar in the house. Okay, he's got everything that I was talking about. So he's like, hey, ECamm is looking nice. So there we are, Sammy. Thank you. It says, did you know you can USB out with ECamm? No, I don't. Like, Sammy, we could have a conversation, because I know you know a lot more than I do. You've been using it since I believe the beginning of the year. I literally have not even been using it one full week. It was 2 days ago that I went live in the LGL for the first time, and everything went so smooth. I'm surprised. Like, I'm gonna get into the specs right now. This is a 2012 Apple Mac Mini with a 2.5 gigahertz i5 processor. I thought it had 16 gigs of RAM, but it actually only has 12, because I guess I had moved one of the sticks to another machine. I gotta see which laptop it could be in. But I want to bring it back up to 16 gigs to enhance the performance. I have a solid state hard drive, which has increased the overall performance of the Mac Mini. But besides that, it's running cool at 200 degrees Fahrenheit. The load with the entire ECamm setup and everything that I'm asking the computer to do is actually just, it's running it at 60%. So it's not peaking the computer. It's not killing this 2012, a 9-year-old Apple computer. So because this program is running so well, I'm just definitely surprised. Okay, so Sammy says it looks great. NDI is great. When you get the M1, you can stream in 4K. I actually think I can stream in 4K now with this setup. Is just the video capture card, and it's not really necessary. It's for me, at least. Something like that. It's saying clean, clean, clean. My vivid life saying, hello, Kylie from Clubhouse here. How are you? Welcome to the live stream. If it's your first time here, I'm glad that you stopped by and you were from Clubhouse, because that's awesome. I've been trying to tone down on Clubhouse because it's very addicting. Like, I was asked to come into Clubhouse today, but I was like, I cannot, because of this live stream, and I need to be here for you guys, for my camera junkies. And so I appreciate you stopping by and hanging out, because and if you have any questions about cameras or the live stream today, I'm talking about the ECamm live and the live streaming, because I actually haven't even paid attention, but I have been consecutive every Saturday without missing so far this entire year. So that, you know, I want to thank everyone who's been here every single Saturday with me, like Scott and Rob and Randall and all you guys. You know, you guys are awesome, and it's just, it's such a part of my life now that I'm trying to make as much content as possible. And this week was really tough because I do have some content already created. I just haven't had the ability to finish the edits. Like, my edit is cut and the audio is like already processed, what I'm working on is the B-roll, you know, the little filler spots. And me not being able to have my desk clean was something that was inhibiting me from like just propping my camera up and shooting the B-roll that I needed. But now, like, I'm like ecstatic right now because, like I said, I feel like I got my desk back. So the ability that I have my 2 cameras on ECamm. With the ECamm program, I'm able to now interview, you know, get people on the stream. And I believe we were talking about this last week with Peter, that we wanted to see if we maybe do like a joint live stream. So it would be awesome now that I have the ability to do that. So that's just like super cool. Oh, we have Scott saying hi to Kelly. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. Sammy is saying you can use USB out from the camera into ECamm. Which cameras though? I have mine connected via the capture cards, and that's why I know I'm getting a better image. Plus, that's one of the things that I'm mentioning in my latest video because it's based around the A6100. The A6100, when I'm using the HDMI out, it allows me to still plug in the USB and use it as phantom power. So I have one like continuous power brick source for my Sony cameras. That's what's running on here. So this camera could run indefinitely. But this one, my shoulder cam, doesn't. It has its battery inside, but because I have the USB plugged into it, it's still getting power charged and it stays on indefinitely. So I can run a multi-hour live stream easily with this setup. And I can't wait because I think, you know, with the test that I had in my in the Facebook group, the LGL group, I believe we got the audio all dialed in. So hopefully the audio is at a good level as well. And that's all we can hope for. And then we just sit here and not have to worry about, you know, like the Windows updates. Because those of you who have been here know that we've dealt with those Windows updates and they've just rebooted my computer in the middle of a live stream. And it was interesting that we were able to pick it back up, but this will never happen with this program. And I'm just amazed because the one thing that I expected was that my Mac Mini was gonna like just kick on the fans and sound like a F-14 Tomcat taking off, you know, and just zzz, and have the fans going like crazy. And it's not. It's running great. Yep. Okay, so Kelly's saying hi to Scott. Okay, here we are. It says, Lewis, you have opened I have this thing blocking it. You have opened a whole new world and new career path. Yeah, which career path is that? Well, hopefully it's this live stream, my channel. Like I actually, you know, I'm gonna share this with you guys. I said it naturally, but then it hit me after last week's stream that somebody came on and asked a question about a camera, and I was able to say, hey, you know what? There's a video on my channel that you can go check out that will explain all about that. And like I said, it was only till after the stream that I was like, whoa. And that's something that I'm proud of because I don't know, I like to say exactly, but I am proud, I guess, because it just shows that I am putting in the work and that all it takes is for me to continue to put in the work. And like Brian G. Johnson says, if you work hard enough and long enough, success will have you. So that's what I'm working on. So thank you for that, Scott. It is a whole new career path, and I just can't wait to make this viable. And I don't want to, well, no, I'm going to say it. I'm going to proclaim it and say it's going to happen this year. And that's why I'm so excited about the opportunities that are going to be coming my way. And I'm just so grateful. I can't wait, actually, not because this, oh man, I got to tell you guys, like the fact that I don't have to worry about like the live streams, and if I can keep this nice and neat, it allows me to clear up so much space. Like I said, I just gained control of my desk again, and all of this was done because of this tiny little program that I'm so grateful for using. And I'm just kicking myself in the butt that I should have tried it sooner, because if I would have tried it sooner, I would have done probably this I would have done this a lot sooner. So everything has to do with that. It always has to do with just like, you always wish you did it sooner. Okay, so Sammy says capture cards are great, but you can use it on any. Yeah, well, yeah, I took them from the Windows machine, popped them onto the Apple, and that's it. Oh, I'm just so happy that I don't have cables running over to the other desk anymore, and that everything's just right here in my cage again. I now have the microphone stand off to the side, and it's clipped onto a little like table on this side, so I could actually like bang the desk and we don't hear that reverberation anymore. So it's just like the final touches on this, so I can just speed up production. That's it. So I'm ecstatic. Oh, this thing is running so well. So if you guys have any questions, I guess I'm not actually the best one, to be honest. I'm using this program right now, just starting to learn it, but I know that pretty soon I'm going to be answering a lot of questions because I'm going to be using this program. Definitely. I'm like 100% sold on ECamm. So Sammy, if you're hearing that, like, yeah, I've said it on the live stream, like I'm 100% sold on this program, and I'm just kicking myself in the butt that I didn't do it sooner. But enough about that. All we have to do is learn, move forward, and yeah, and that's it. Pretty soon, this is not even going to be a thing, and I'm just going to continue to work on my content on my channel and my, like my body of work. So, okay, so hold on. It says you might be able to use the NEX 3 with ECamm. Really? I have an NEX 6, but the thing is, it doesn't have a clean HDMI. Like, I was able to connect it, but it still gives me all the information all over the screen. So imagine if you're looking at the screen, like there's context all over this, and even on this side somewhat, that you don't even get a solid square in the center. You actually like get this shrunken square off to the side. That's what happened when I connected the NEX 6. Okay. Okay, what does this say? It says, Lewis, you can try to break Peter. No, I don't think so. Well, not one starting at midnight. That's all I have to say to that. Maybe to do a 7.5 hour one, we have to start much earlier in the day. But that's when I will have that ability, because that's what I'm working on right now. I'm working on the ability to free up my schedule and change the dynamics so that I have more time, and then maybe I could actually do the live streams earlier, because like even today was tight to get here. Randall had text messaged me earlier, and I really wasn't even able to respond because I'm here trying to finish plugging up the cameras and everything, like literally in the last hour before I went live. But it's so much fun that it's always worth it. I could be dead tired, but as soon as like the lights come on, it's just like energy. So Okay, the fans are mostly on the MacBooks. Yeah, but this is a 2012. That's where I'm like, 2012. It's about like next year will be a 10-year-old Mac, and it's running this like today's version of this program to do live streaming. And if I wanted to, could do 4K. It's available through the program. Oh, you know Sammy. So it's just amazing. Oh, look, Rich said the same thing. Yeah, building a body of work. Yeah, just that was such a big thing for me. I was so proud of that because I could say that. It wasn't like, and it makes me like understand like YouTube itself better for this reason. Like when I first made my first video, I wouldn't even have had an idea that if somebody came to my channel and only saw one video, they'll be like, okay, I've seen everything. And it's happened to me in this aspect. You know, I don't really watch television anymore, but when I did, you would like see a good show on Netflix and then see that it either only had one season or that it was only like a mini series that had like 3 or maybe 6 episodes. And then you're just like left wanting more. And you're just like, oh, that sucks. I wish. So even that it wasn't, you know, like my first videos, everyone's first videos are not that good. You know, like we do our best, but we learn through this journey. And to get to the point where you can recognize how much you've improved from just like a year ago or so on and so forth, really goes to show. And it's really eye-opening to understand now that I was like, yeah, if somebody were to find my channel and there was only one video on it, what would give them the incentive to like subscribe to stay for more? And now it's completely different, and I'm just trying to provide as much value as I can. And it's like Scott said, it's opening up a whole new career path, and I can't wait to see how we end up this year, you know, because it kind of started, you know, just in December, especially you guys who know from the LGL side. It's been one heck of a roller coaster in just these 4 months, and I cannot, like, I'm ecstatic. You can see the smile on my face, so I appreciate you guys. So okay, it says, you know that the sound effects are in ECamm. Yeah, but you know what? I prefer them here. They're just faster, you know, but they don't have all of them. You know, and you Sammy, that had Hdmi. That's for D, always the funk. So let's see what Scott says. Okay, let's bring this bit down. Okay. Could you break down the hardware you're utilizing for this production? Also, can ECamm be purchased outright, or is it strictly subscription? It's subscription based. The plan that I'm utilizing right now, the Pro, is I believe $200 a year, or like $16 a month, something like that. But yeah, let's see. Breakdown. My cameras that I'm using are the Sony A7R II right here, and I'm using that connected via HDMI cable. My shoulder cam to go to it, this camera right here, boom. This is my Sony A6100. The lenses that I'm using, this one right here is my 20mm f2.8. It's a small little pancake lens. I was actually using the kit lens, but every time you turn it on and off, you would have to adjust the focal length. So I just left this one on there because it was right where I wanted it, especially for like product showcasing. Works great. And Sony autofocus. Now we're back here. This one is I'm using my Zeiss Vario Tessar, the FE. This is the F4, the 24-70 because it's a great camera lens. It's got the OSS, the optical steady shot, and then the camera also has the steady shot, and in combination it's almost like I don't need that thing right there, the gimbal. You know, I keep going back to like handheld, even though I have that there. I need to put that to use, but I digress. That's a whole different conversation. But so I'm using the 24-70, and I'm using it at 24. That's the focal length that I like. And yeah, and it's like really nice and tight, nice and close. I'm using a audio mixer that I bought on Amazon for $50. This was the reason why I picked this one wasn't just because it was the cheapest. It was because it was the only one within like under $100 price range that actually had the, actually let me show you, see if I can get to it. Yeah, has the mixers here. If you can see to the left of it, it has the physical like sliders, and that's what I'm used to when it comes to the audio. You can see the audio measurements peaking right here. Another thing that it impressed me is that it also has a spot here where I have a USB thumb drive connected. So all the music that we're hearing here is actually being played off of the USB, and I can control by like just pressing pause, pressing play, skipping songs, leave one track playing. I have full control over just some buttons right there. And it was $50. So it's got phantom power. So I took this microphone. This microphone is the Sony ECM-XM1 microphone, and it actually comes from my Sony like little kit that gets connected directly to the multimedia interface. So with that, what I did was I actually disconnected the microphone from that connection, took another XLR cable and connected it to this arm, and then ran it into the XLR input, give it the phantom power. So now I have my iPad, which is just above the console, running my soundboard. So I love Arnold. All right, so it's got the sound effects that I want. My favorites are already set up. I have that plugged in here, so if I actually wanted to increase the sound or boost the levels of the sound effects, I could, but I believe they're fine. If I wanted to boost the music, it's that simple, that fast, to be able to control the audio. And I think that's it. I already explained the Mac Mini that I have here. So I have these two cameras plugged into the HDMI into the Mac Mini, and then I have this controlling the audio, one audio source out plugged into the microphone in. So we have the microphone and all of the audio. Excuse me. All of the audio is being mixed through the mixer and then just being pumped out, so the computer has less to deal with and everything runs smoothly. Yeah, everything's running fine. Actually, Sammy, I'm gonna get back to the chat. Sammy, let me know what's the combination. Control S I thought was where I would share the screen. Oh, it is. What happened here? I'm supposed to be in a bubble. I am not on a bubble, so let's go back to this. I thought with this share screen, I was able to be in a bubble in the right hand side. I think I did something wrong. I think I just need to activate the camera again, but we'll get to that. Let's get back to the chat because I think I'm slacking on it. Okay, so I broke that down. Peter Greg in the house. Yes, I am doing well, sir. How are you? Thank you for stopping by. It says, call me if you need me. I will do that, sir. Actually, I was planning on calling you and having a discussion. I think we can help each other, but we'll have a chat. Okay, so Sammy says, yes, it's great. I've been using ECamm since 2019 or longer. Okay. I'm in bed but watching. Okay. I should actually put that as a context, right? Because saying that just aloud, I just realized may sound a little bit interesting. Says, does the NEX6 have USB? Yes, it does. Oh, I think I understood what you're telling me right now. I was connecting the NEX via HDMI and not getting clean HDMI. You're telling me I can connect it with NDI via USB and get a signal out? Oh, I got this bad boy sitting right here. Thank you for that, Sammy. You gave me something else to do, because I'm going to be messing around with that now. If it has USB, it'll work. Man. The NEX6 is like the M50. Look at this. Oh, Sammy, you hooking me up. You see, this is another reason why I'm saying this. If I can get this going with the NDI, yo. Let me tell you this one thing. When I was running everything off of the Windows PC, I have this camera as well. Boom. The Fujifilm X-T1. That camera was never designed to be on like a live stream or a webcam or anything like that. But some person created a program. I think you purchase it one time, very inexpensive. And what it does, I think it's something like this NDI that we've been speaking about. And it actually enables this to be used as a webcam with no information like HDMI clean. But it only worked for Mac computers. And I was like, that sucks. I need it for the Windows PC. So I just totally forgot about it. Now that I'm using a Mac, I might have 2 more cameras or maybe even 3. Oh. Yes, love it. I used the 2012 Mac Mini with ECamm and it worked good. Yeah, right now you're watching it work good. You know, it's okay. The real Raymond is in the house. Okay, let's see. Let's bring this down a little bit. I'm still learning that. It says, Lewis, nice purple aesthetic. Just checking in. I'll probably get back to my editing soon. Well, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you hanging out, sir. Okay, Sammy's saying it's a good deal. This, it keeps popping up everywhere in different sizes. So I need to get better on that. Tech for your needs. Hello, folks. How you doing? Luis, how are you, sir? Thank you for stopping by. Right? I'm so bad with names. Confirm if I'm thinking. Yeah, Nez's stream. I think the time is getting to me. So, how much is the mixer? Says Sammy. I think I mentioned that. It was $50. Yep, I'll send you the link, Sammy, because it's got a weird name. It's a Chinese company. The Pusheng or something like that. I'm not really sure, but I'll send you the link. Oh, Callie is here. What's up? It says, are you using your ECamm on your 2015 MacBook Pro? No, actually, look. Completely off. This is my 2015 MacBook Pro. i7, but no, I'm not using it. Ooh, it got warm in here. I know it's just me, but ooh, it got warm. Let me see this. I'm gonna turn on this desk fan. Hopefully that's not making too much noise. That's like killing it, but right now I am cooking under these lights. And they're LEDs. And it's actually cool outside. So this doesn't make sense why this is so hot. Or why I'm like a little sweaty up in here. Okay, that setup could be portable for location performances. That's cool. Yeah, and if I decide to just go one camera, even easier. Much easier. Yep, all my sound effects are preloaded onto this. Yeah, and I can connect pretty much any microphone to this setup. I have 2 XLR connections, so I could even do like a podcast. Okay, I'm not used to the chat here as well. Okay, so tech for your needs. Okay, let's bring that down a little bit. It says, I have the Panasonic Lumix G7 25mm f 1.7. I'm thinking that's what he was saying, not f17. I'm just guessing. Lens that you need to use for live stream. I need to stop using I need to stop using my webcam. The Panasonic Lumix, absolutely, and that has definitely, if I remember correct, the G7 has clean HDMI. So one of the tip of the day was this. I'm using these $15 video capture cards from Amazon. They look great. And I've been using them for months already. So reliability there. And I'll tell you another thing. This camera, it was a while ago, but this camera set up like this because it's got the full power in, so it will never die. Connected via HDMI. I shut down the live stream and it stayed on for 24 hours. Like plus, because I forgot to turn off the camera. So it just stayed on. I shut off the monitors. And it was the next day when I turn on the computer and I like decide to check the program that I see the camera was active, and I was like, oh man. So I check it, like, is it overheating, anything? No, nothing. This thing's a champ. Like these Sony cameras, man, they are champs. So, but definitely if you're using a webcam, and that's another thing, you know, Professor Nez, he uses a webcam. He had asked me about upgrading, and I think, you know, you guys should. And it's for one thing, webcams actually, they actually have a good image. The one thing that drives me crazy, and I don't know if it's something that you can control depending on which webcam you have, but auto exposure. Every time like a hand goes in front of the screen, just to mention, instead of focusing on it, it changes the entire like white balance of the image like instantly. And that's one thing that really, to me, just gives away, you know, even the best webcams can't handle that. Oh, Sly is in the house. Hi, Lewis, fellow junkies. So glad I caught up with all you tonight. Well, I'm glad to have you here. Welcome. Sammy says, no, it's not NDI. See, these comments are going everywhere. Okay, so it's saying not NDI. Okay, it's USB. Just plug it and it works. So I gotta just check it out, because maybe what that person was selling as a program itself is literally what ECamm does, and it's just saying, you know what, I'm gonna accept any bypass information. So I'm definitely gonna check it out, because I have plenty of USB cables. But if I do that, just FYI, I would have to most likely get another external power source, because if it's using the USB, and especially these older cameras, I don't think that they were set up to actually get phantom power through that, so the batteries would die fairly quick, especially in video mode. So definitely need to get an external source. But if it's possible, that could be my shoulder cam. Gonna definitely look into that. Thank you, Sammy, man. Works like a webcam. All right, Mario's in the house saying hello to everyone. Mario says, hi, Lewis. Volume, please. Am I low? I thought I was coming in okay. Let me see. Hopefully that's better. It shows... Well, hopefully that's better. Let's see. It says, tech for your needs. Says, yes, we have the same name. The thing is, like, what I mixed up was not our names. What I mixed up was if Tech for Your Needs was your name, the guy that I know as Luis, because I'm just horrible with names, whether they're screen names or actual names. You can use the 2015 with ECamm. The NDI is for computers, not for cameras. Oh, yo, you're seeing these expressions live because my mind is just being blown right now, like live, because Sammy's telling me that I can use the computer, the laptop, as an NDI source, so I can use that as the second computer. Nice. But now correct me if I'm wrong, Sammy. Let me know. I believe I can connect an iPhone through the NDI, and I believe I can connect it just straight like via USB, and it could be powered. Because if that's true, I work on iPhones. I actually have the ability to... I have a couple of them that it's called... they're blacklisted. They can't be used as phones anymore, so they're just basically glorified iPods. But they do have the cameras, and if I can just connect it via USB, lightning cable to the back, and see it as a hypothetical webcam the same way, it should work fairly easy. Okay, so Peter, let me find your camera, make sure the lock is off, put up a make sure the lock is off, put up a chat on the screen, size it and place it. Back your scene window, turn the lock and the camera. I'm gonna have to read that again because that did not register. Sorry, Peter. Could be the time. Says, DM me that capture card link, please, on Twitter. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's like, it's $15. Like 15. Yeah, I think that's what I paid for it. Like, so definitely I'll look into my search history, get the link and send it over to you guys. Says, Professor Nez, I recommend the Sony ZV-1 for him. I did too. Actually, I think I sent him a link, though, for that one. Was it him? I think so. Okay, so Mario says, which glass and camera for real photography, no crop crap? Full frame or medium format would you buy if starting anew? Right now, honestly, like, I would still be where I'm at right now. Well, yeah, I think I'm really happy with Sony. And the reason why I'm happy with them is because their autofocus works. This. There. 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 And then right there. That's why. And it's not only that, but for photography. Full frame, digital. I'm definitely not going to be messing with film. You know, like going back to like the roots. So not that. Obviously, mirrorless over DSLR. And, you know, I love DSLR cameras because that's why I said I might even have another camera. That other camera is my DSLR. Let me see where I'll put it. This little guy right here. The Nikon D5100 with my 35mm f1.8. Nice little camera. But the one thing that I am gonna blunt out and tell you that I am absolutely spoiled with mirrorless cameras is the way of chimping now, the way of checking my images. Because before we would always like, and this is, hey, first world problem, so to speak, but we went from film cameras where you would just take a picture, and once that was done, you would have to wait weeks to develop it, and then once that was done, you see how the images came out. We moved over to digital and we got instant satisfaction, instant gratification. Because as soon as you take an image, you can go to the back of your screen and see the composition, see how it came out, see if something was good or not, so on and so forth. It got to the point where now we're just like spoiled on the quality of these images on the back of these DSLRs, because 9,000,000 dots and everything like that, and the resolution that we're getting off of just a standard DSLR. And now we got to the point where we're at mirrorless. And with the mirrorless cameras, besides just checking the image on the back of the LCD, I have the ability to actually loop it and bring it to my eye and check the image, like if I was in a dark room or if I was in a Lightroom program, where I can just zoom into the image and check it like to the nth detail. And I took out my DSLR the other day and I was shooting with it, and when I was looking at the image on the back, I wanted to zoom in, and I caught myself about to just do one of those, and I was like, I can't check the image that way. I have to wait. And all I can do is look at this LCD and hope, and wait till I get to the computer. So yeah, that's where I said right now, absolutely, I'll be going Sony. I'll be going Sony because of the convenience of the autofocus. I can work on my composition and the actual art form of photography. And I know that when it comes to portraits or pretty much anything else, what I want to be in focus is going to be in focus. And because I don't have to worry about that, that's why I will absolutely be using that. So that's what I would. And I actually wouldn't even go. Whoa. Excuse me, hold up. Let me know if the audio is okay, because I heard like some audio popping through my monitor. So it could be my monitor's going bad, but just let me know. But yeah, and I wouldn't even be going medium format, to tell you the truth. I wouldn't even be going medium format. A lot of images, they look amazing, but it's taking a lot of steps back, because a lot of them have like a single focus point and you're dealing with focus and recompose. If I wanted to really do that for portraits, I could just stick with a DSLR or anything like that. So that's my feelings on it. I'm actually like really happy with the system that I'm in. And I like Sony because, like, right now, for those of you who might not know, Sony just released a new 50mm f1.2 G Master that's cheaper than all of the other competitors' f1.2s. And it's sharper, edge to edge, lighter, smaller, and the most important thing, cheaper. I think Sony is really doing us photographers, us content creators, a real solid. I really do think so. Okay, Mario says that is much better with the volume. Thanks. Not sure, but maybe use dummy batteries for the older cameras. That's what I was trying to say. I guess I didn't get that across. That's what I would need to buy, the dummy batteries for these older cameras to get them to just stay on. Because if not, then there's no purpose, because definitely they're not set up for that USB phantom power. Says, would you consider making the show earlier? I would actually. I'm trying to, but like even today, if it were to be set up for like, let's say 11, there wouldn't have been a live stream. And that's what sucks. Like, it's not that it sucks, it's just not optimal right now, which is what I'm working on. I'm working on being a full-time content creator so that I have the ability to create the content that I want to do it and be able to support myself and actually give my son the best life possible doing something that I love, because there's no time to waste. So if anyone's out there waiting on anything to do this, wait no longer. Get out there. Sly, if you're listening, you know, I was checking your channel. I'm still waiting for your first video. I can't wait to be there to watch it, you know, and support you, because anyone who's willing to take on this journey and, like I said, work hard at it long enough and know, like, you know, there's some people who the only reason why they don't make it on this platform is because they quit, and that's it. There's so many people who, when they get to where they want to be, they get on an interview and people ask them, what did you do to make it? And they were like, I didn't quit, I just stayed with it. And that's where Brian G. Johnson says, if you work hard enough and long enough, success will have you. And I understand that. And now with that mentality, I also know that I have no quit in me, because my motivation is right there. You know, my motivation's right there. That's all I gotta say. Changing up the effect. What's up? This is the moving background. I have a static, a moving. I'm working on a couple of these, you know, as you can see, the little layouts. And this is just me 3 days into the program. Okay, so it says Sammy just became a tech consultant. For his age, is a very smart kid. Absolutely. Sammy is very impressive. He impressed me. He had a video or like a series on Amazon. I was just like, that's amazing, you know? And if I just wish Sammy all the best, but I know Sammy is, there's no quitting him. So he's going to be here, and he's going to be here for the long run. And you only need to get things right once. And once you do, it's set from there. Okay. Would it make any sense to get HDMI video capture device with USB 3.0 capability if available? In other words, would 3.0 be better than 2.0? Yes, but you have to have 3.0 on your computer to utilize it. So if, like for me, for example, that computer had USB 3.0, but this video capture card right here, as you can see, has the white USB in the front. That is standard USB 2.0, and there's no difference from the video feed from this one to the 3.0. So if you can save a couple of bucks, this one, I don't know if you wanted the link from the Amazon for these capture cards. I know Tech for Your Needs Luis asked me for it. I'm just going to look it up. I'm going to be looking up the 3.0 ones that have the blue connection. So the one that I also got, actually, I'm gonna just address this right now. I believe it could be like $20, because the one that I purchased, to explain, let me see if I have the cable here. And I do not. Okay. The one that I purchased actually has a USB 3.0 extension cable. Why get the extension cable? Because these guys are kind of chunky and they have problems fitting in directly to the back of the computer, sitting right next to each other on the USBs. But if you get them with the extension, you could just plug it in, then plug this in on the extension, and this is actually not sticking out from the back of your computer. just a thin little cable, and I highly recommend that because it also extends the cable or the HDMI that you're connecting to the computer an extra foot, or actually the one that I got was like 6 foot and a 4 foot, something like that, just because I was moving the USBs all the way to that other side. Now they're wrapped up, so it depends on, you know, your setup size, the length of the extension cables that you would want to get. But like I said, there's available from like 3, 4, and 6, and I highly recommend that so that you save like your USB ports on your computer. That way, if you have 3 and you're utilizing 2, you still have access to the third. If you have these little like chunky guys next to each other, they're gonna have to kind of like skip a USB in the middle that you will no longer be able to use depending on your setup. It really depends on your setup, but even on the Windows computer that I had over there, I had the extensions just so that they weren't crammed all next to each other because the USBs are really tight. All right. I always giggle whenever I see a Nikon camera. That's wrong, Raymond. That's messed up. I always giggle whenever I see a Nikon camera, probably because it reminds me of, what did it say? Probably reminds me of how admirably loyal their fan base remains throughout the internet. They'll be here until the bitter end. Yeah, but I can tell you, when it comes, like, if you realize who Nikon has as a community, it's photographers. It's not videographers. It's photographers. Because for video, that's not there. But when it comes to the raw files that Nikon gives you to deal with, they're really nice to deal with. And I go back from the raw files that I have still on my hard drive from my 90D, like a 12 megapixel file, and I still look at some of these images and some of the JPEGs that just come out and you're just like, wow, that's nice. Like, there's nothing that needs to be done. So I do go back to that. That's why I still have this one. And this lens is probably like my favorite lens for the APS-C lineup. That 35 millimeter f1.8, great in low light. It gives you like a 50 millimeter equivalent, so it's like a 50 millimeter 1.8, and I always love the images that I get off of that lens. So, Joanna Swan, how are you? Saying hello. Tech for your needs said audio is good. Well, thank you. I am going to listen to the replay because this is the first time that I use ECamm, which is all about. So I'm definitely going to test out I'm definitely going to listen to the replay to see how this test came out. But so far, I think this is awesome. Yep. Look, it says audio sounds really good, just like you're in the room with me. Awesome. And you see, like, you know, we've had struggles with the Windows PC and the other programs to try to get the audio right with like no humming. You know, I'm hearing that the audio is good, and I actually have a desk fan that I like at arm's length that's just blowing a light breeze on me, and I am no longer sweating like I was at the beginning of the stream. That's amazing. Sly saying hi to Joanna. Oh, what did I just do? Oh, let me see here. Okay. I moved the background, I think. That's what I did. Oh, I made it smaller. Did I? Oh, I totally killed this. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Now let's do this, make that a bit smaller, and now I'm going to lock this so I can't do that again. There we go. And now it's locked. Okay, so we're back to it. Okay, let's see this. Okay, would any of you like a modern camera with digital dials like the iWatch, that you could program as a sophisticated or as plain as you like. No more dials marked with something you never use. It's funny that you mentioned that, Mario, but to tell you the truth, I think Samsung came out with that computer. The problem is that it was like a smartphone built into the back of a pretty good digital or mirrorless camera. The problem is that it was running Android. Now, you can say whatever you want to say when it comes to a platform, Android versus iOS, when it comes to phones. But when it comes to cameras, you can't have such a flaky operating system. And that's unfortunately what it's come out with every single iteration. Now, what has been the latest iteration of the camera that you're mentioning? Mario, I would tell you to look into the Zeiss camera. Zeiss. I'm using a Zeiss lens, but the Zeiss camera that just came out. Fellow content creator Manny Ortiz made a video about it. It's a $6,000 camera. Exactly, $6,000. It has a fixed lens, and it has an Android operating system with Lightroom Mobile, and I think Instagram and stuff like that built into it. It doesn't have a lot of dials, and it didn't go well. It just I saw it and I'm like, I wouldn't buy that camera. Nothing that attracted me to it, and that's all I can tell you from my experience. And especially at that price tag, $6,000. No, not my money. Okay, says be careful with dummy batteries. I am just having a max of 2H, need to change it, but I'm worried of this stay on with overheat. I'm not sure which camera you have. So having the max of 2 hours, I believe that's what you were saying. You need to change it, but it worries it stays on and overheats. It just depends on your camera. That's what I'm telling you. I did it on accident, and I know this camera. I was checking. I was like, oh, is it? No. This thing has no problem. The A6100 has no problem. No. Okay, so everything's looking good over here. Okay, let me see this. Joanna saying hi to Slide. Look at these messages. They're everywhere. I don't even know where to leave them. I'm going to see here. They don't block my face. Okay, we will support Sly. Have a team of followers and give her a head start. We not have to work so late. Yeah, that's actually the goal, that I could actually do these things during the day. And if my job is to create content, why would I pick midnight? If it weren't the fact that I was literally on the road. I had Professor Nez, Tech for Your Needs, had messaged me to go into a clubhouse room to see if I could help him moderate, and in all sincerity, I just couldn't. I was like, no, I have the live stream that I'm planning out, and I hadn't even had the computer set up. I knew I had tested ECamm, but this whole thing was, I can't even begin to tell you what type of a mess it was. That I just got here and just started cleaning. While I was cleaning, Aiden fell asleep, so that was ideal. And I was like, great. Put him to bed right there, and then just continued, and then went live, and here we are, having fun. But yeah, like he says, I wouldn't have to work so late, but I want to go back to saying the support with Sly. Yeah, that would be so cool. But anyone that's ever done this and started creating the content, everyone, including myself, says I should have started sooner. And I think I started as soon as I could. Yet I still have that remorse, man, I wish I started sooner, because everything happens for a reason. Timing is everything. And, I'm glad that I found Peter Gregg's channel and the live streaming when I did. Like I said, everything happens for a reason. So just roll with it and everything goes good. Okay. Luis says, I got access to Twitter Spaces yesterday. I used it for the first time. I actually got access to it like a week or 2 weeks ago. So I've been able to do the Twitter Spaces. The difference is, and I'm going to be blunt, I don't have a big following on Twitter because I just started using it because of Clubhouse. So if I were to start a room in Twitter Spaces, I'm not sure if it's available for anyone to walk in unless you have like a direct link or that you're following me to actually be able to just like expand on it. And that's where I think Clubhouse is better for someone like me. Like if I'm starting from zero on either platform, I've been longer on Twitter, not really utilizing it, but Twitter I have, a following of over 100. I'm just shy of 1,000 on Clubhouse, and that's me not even being on it this whole week. So if I wanted to like progress that as an option through the social media, which I actually had Kelly come in here from Clubhouse, so it goes to show you that is just expanding my reach for everyone to get to know MrCameraJunkie. And with that, I still think that Clubhouse is better, at least for me, when it comes to Twitter Spaces. If not Nikon, no soup for Mitt. Nike not. Yeah. I had heard the joke, but I repeated it saying like, is Nye gone? Like, is it really gone? Because they're tough. And I think it was last week that I was talking about the A or the Z9. For them to have a hit with this camera has nothing to do with the specs. They need to nail the autofocus. They want to talk about 8K. 8K that nobody's actually using will mean jack crap. No, not that one. This one. If the autofocus, if you can't focus, 8K, what's the point of 8K? Larger file sizes and it's out of focus. Like, they need to get the autofocus up to par. They need to give their loyal fan base that we're talking about, okay? You need to give these loyal photographers the autofocus that I rely on with my Sony for my photography, where I don't have to worry about it. I just worry about composition. And you do that and you give that to your Nikon faithful, and they're going to jump all over that camera and they're going to be happy, and Nikon will survive whatever happens because they won't switch their glass, so on and so forth. We can get into the details. Well, I did last week about the speeds of their lenses, because let's say you get an F mount adapter for a Sony Z9 camera, and I decide to take my favorite lens, the 35 1.8, one of the slowest autofocusing lenses that Nikon has. I love the images that I get from it. Is it fast autofocusing? No. Slow, and it makes noise. It's right up there with the Canon 51.4. But if I decide to put that lens onto this new mirrorless camera, I might get the autofocusing, functionality of like nailing the eye, but it's not gonna be fast. But if the computation from it is fast enough to actually nail the eye, and even though it's slower, still get the focus right, I think they have a winner in my hands. So Andre is in the house. What's up, man? I haven't seen you here in a while. I'm glad that you were able to stop by. He says, what program are you streaming with? ECamm. And I'm 100% sold. I'm not even gonna front. I'm 100% sold. Oh, I can move that? Perfect. I'm learning. I'm still learning this thing. So there was this thing that was just in the way the entire time, and it's just bugging me with the comments. So I'm putting the comments like up here so that I can read them on the camera because this thing was in the way. And all I did was just move that thing out of the way like I moved the comments. See, I'm still learning. Okay, so see, now I can bring this down here and I can still read it, which is the point of this. But we're learning. No Android, actual dials with actual digital displays. Well, I heard, because I listen to stuff when I'm on the road. I heard the podcast from Tony and Chelsea Northrup, and they were saying, are DSLRs dead, or that DSLRs are officially dead because when it comes to the market, they've actually sunk under mirrorless sales. And the crazy thing is that mirrorless sales did not peak. They've just been consistent across the board. Is just the DSLR sales have just trickled down finally under the mirrorless sales, which is very interesting. And they're saying, they're waving the white flag. That's basically what they were saying on their podcast. But supposedly there's still some companies that, well, not really to mention them, but Pentax, they don't make any mirrorless cameras at all. So if DSLRs are really dead, then that they're a dinosaur, because they literally came out with a camera. It's only gonna be sold in Japan, thank God, because it's hideous. It's red with like this faux leather. Oh, it's so ugly. It's just like, they can take awesome images, but physically the camera's ugly, and it's red. I don't get it. It looks like the cheap little red point and shoot Nikons that you can get. Those, like, I forget what they're called. I digress. But anyways. Okay, so Joanna's heading out. She's saying see you later. So put that here. Try to figure this out. The Zeiss camera is a huge mistake that took them too long to launch. Not worth. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And when I saw it, I was like, it might have been good in 2017, and I still don't think. But maybe with the hype of Instagram back then, Instagram's algorithm right now is absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. This is how bad Instagram's algorithm is. I post something on Instagram, and every single one, without fail, every single post, Instagram tries to sell me on the display of my post. Instagram is telling me, hey, this post is doing 95% better than all of your other posts. Pay me so that we can advertise it. I'm like, just show it to people. If it's good content, show it to people and let them be the judge. Don't judge it, and when you notice that it's good, stunt it and say, hey, you know what? Unless you pay, nobody's gonna see your good stuff. And that's where Instagram is right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know your experiences with Instagram. I'm just about had it, man, because it's every post. This one's doing 85%. This is doing 90%. This is doing 95%. Do you know why it's doing 95% better? Because until you get your little greedy mitts on the image and stunt it, everybody that sees it likes it. Why don't you just let it like snowball, do its thing? No, we need to get paid. So that's how I feel about Instagram right now. Yes, it's for everyone. That is one of the options on Twitter Spaces. Okay, so I need to check it out still. But still, I still think I have more fun in Clubhouse. I could be wrong, but there's certain things about Twitter Spaces that I like. I just don't know how it'll work. I guess I'll just have to open a room and see exactly what it looks like. Okay, so Mario's here saying, being Zeiss a lens maker and coming out with a fixed lens system, who do they think they are? Canon or Sony? Sony had which one? The RX1 or RX01, a 40 megapixel fixed lens with a tiny little battery that overheats. Pretty interesting camera though. If they could fix those features to have something compact like that, I think they were trying to tap into like the Leica community with a high resolution megapixel fixed lens camera, and I believe that was a Zeiss as well. So goes to show you. Okay, so Andre says, I'm up late remodeling my basement for my YouTube channel. That's awesome. Congratulations, sir. That's just the bomb. It says it's going to be a while, but I see your subscriber count rising. Hey man, it is, and I want to thank you for bringing that up. Guys, whoever's still here, I always forget to mention these things, but ECamm is showing me this little button with thumbs up. So if you're still here, please hit the like button. I appreciate that. It goes a long way. But love to see that. I just crossed over 400 subscribers today, which is amazing to think. That's what I was saying. That's part of the roller coaster, that it was not even 3 months ago that I was like, I want to reach 100 subscribers so that I can get my custom URL. And now I just crossed 400 subscribers. And what I've realized in this is that my job is to not worry about subscribers. Now, it is an awesome metric for me because it's just like a personal vanity metric, but it's a metric that I can enjoy for myself because it's just a validation of like my body of work on this platform. Like me, like I was mentioning before, and that Scott had also mentioned that it's my body of work, what I was able to put into last week. I was so happy that somebody came in here, asked a question, and I was able to just not answer the question, but answer it by saying, hey, and I have a video on my channel if you want to get more information. And because I've already put the work in, and that means so much for me. And that's what's actually continuing to like grow the channel. I'm starting to get these like really amazing messages in my videos, that it's helping people out. Somebody even left a comment to say like, dude, you're underrated. And I'm like, thank you, but I think I'm properly rated. I don't even know how certain people could handle it, like to just have a million subscribers in no time. I think the way that I've been doing it is I've just been having fun with it. Everyone does it their own way. I knew it was a marathon coming into it, so I already had like my blinders on, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna hit it. I'm gonna hit the gas pedal to the metal. And yeah, like imagine if there was 400 people in a room saying, hey, you know what, I think you got what it takes. And that's the way I see it. I don't take it much more than that. Everyone has their own reasons for subscribing or unsubscribing, and that's something that I don't have control over. But what I do have control over is making sure that I put out another video, or that I make another live stream. Like today was one of those tough days just for the time, aspect. So what is it that I'm trying to accomplish? I'm trying to become a full-time content creator so that my time is no longer separated, so that I can continue in what I want to do and have the subscriber count grow to show even more, because that just means that I put in more work. That's all it is. That's the way I see it. I see it as a number to keep track of the amount of work that I've done on this platform. And when I see it that way, I do understand that they're actual people, because when it comes to social media platforms, YouTube by far is the hardest to gain subscriber counts to this point, because they're the realest type of subscribers, you know. For example, like right now, Andre, you're here, you know, you're even mentioning that to me. I really appreciate that. But this is a relationship where, like, we're having a conversation about it, and this is something that you will never get on Instagram. You know, somebody will just give a heart on your photograph and just keep scrolling, another heart, keep scrolling, maybe keep scrolling, and then another heart, and that's it. And that's the type of like communication and like response that you get from your content on that platform. And you go to different ones, but you're actually talking and helping actual people like on this platform in a whole different way. So because of that, I know it's the hardest, but because it's the hardest, it's also the most rewarding. Whether it just be rewarded on a personal level, getting to know like cool people like Andre and everyone that's in here, you know, through all the different ways that we've met each other, you know, like digitally. And I know that once things change, you know, we'll be able to cultivate these relationships and probably meet each other physically. So just working at all of those things and just like grinding away. But thanks again, Andre. Yeah, I reached 400 today. So once again, that's because it was literally just December 1st that I was like, you know what? I'm going to put in the work and I want to get to 100, and look, 400. And all I can see is that the more work that I put in, the more that number is going to grow. And it's like an inevitability, you know. And it's not to sound cocky, it's just I know that it's going to be inevitably that way, because I know my work ethic and my drive. So I'll leave it with this for this comment, so to speak. Will Smith himself literally said, like, there could be plenty of people who are talented actors. He goes, and there are. He's like, I win because nobody's going to outwork me. So that's the way that I have this mentality when it comes to this platform, which is literally, I'm the only one who can hold myself back, you know? So it's literally like I have to, like, I'm the only one who can hold myself back. So if I put in the work, success will have me. And that's it. All right. So tech for your needs, Luis says, DM me and I'll help you with Twitter Spaces. Mario says, how many subscribers or what is needed to make a decent plus living on YouTube? That's a good question, but I have been researching that. As of right now, I have a great opportunity in front of me also with this program that I'm using right now. I have the ability to make money through an affiliate program with ECamm. So I'm going to take advantage of that, but I'm going to look at it into a different way. I spoke with Doc Rock, so thanks, Doc Rock. If you ever catch this, I really do appreciate it. And I'm going to be looking into providing services or help for the Latin community and Spanish ECamm. So one thing that I was thinking about doing was, I'm just starting to learn now that through the Buy Me a Coffee, I can host videos, and if it's like a course on how to do something, I can monetize it right there, that I can put a price for my video content or my video work that's specifically for a niche type thing that has nothing to do with my YouTube channel. So that's one option. And then providing that work with the affiliate link of ECamm and using them in unison, and then adding different aspects of monetization like the Amazon affiliate links, which that's another thing. I want to thank Rob. If you're listening, thank you for putting that fire under my butt and getting those things rolling, because I actually made $2.45 from Amazon affiliate links, which is small in the spectral of things, but I understand that the way I see it is that means it's working. That means that the link is working and that my links and my affiliate links with Amazon are active and that it's being recognized through the system. So all I have to do is just continue to put in the work. So my goal is to actually, well, I already know that by the end of this year, putting those things into play, whether it's Amazon affiliates, ECamm, affiliate as well, and whatever else is going to be coming my way, that there's great possibility, excuse me, not great possibility, but like almost limitless potential to actually create a living that can sustain me and my son through this platform. And I already know that it's going to happen before the end of this year. Why do I know this? Well, I've also taken actions to help me along in this journey. I'm living a very minimalistic life right now with just me and my son. There's absolutely nothing extravagant. The best thing that I have is like the community that I'm building on my channel. And that's why I'm always so thankful, because I am right now, as a father and as a human, starting from scratch, like starting from zero. And what I'm building now is something for my son, because, you know, as of right now, he can't do it for himself. So I am making sure that I'm advocating for Aiden and working the hardest that I can to give him the best that I can, because it's what he deserves. So with that being said, I know that I can become a full-time content creator with not that much money. So the way that you would have to look at that to say, how much do you need to make to become a full-time content creator, you have to budget in yourself to say, how much do I need to live, or how much do I need to sustain the lifestyle that I have right now? And once you budget those things in and you realize, look, I need this, but I don't need that. I need this, not that. And you break it down, then you can just, like I can say, you can add 30% to that number and say, this is the number. This is the minimal number that I can use to survive as a content creator full time. With that being said, that number is going to be different for a lot of people depending on their demographics, where they live, and how they live. So the way that I'm seeing now is like, I'm grinding it out now. This is like the hardening process. And when I come up shining on the other side, nobody can look at me and be like, it was given to you, or, you know, you didn't work for it, or anything of that sort. Like, he's a lucky guy. It's not about luck. It's about hard work and providing value. And if you can do those things, like I mentioned again, Brian G, success will have you. And that's where that's where my aspirations are. I've done it for myself, which is why it's tough, I guess, for me compared to even other people, because My biggest thing is that some people say, like, I would love to leave my 9 to 5 job to create content all the time. I am pursuing my passion in trying to become a full-time, or actually working my way into becoming a full-time content creator. But what I'm sort of leaving is also my baby. So that's where it's really tough, because I already have a business which I created the same way from scratch. I'm providing great value, and I'm so appreciative of my clients when it comes to my Mr. Fix-It business. But it also consumes a lot of my time that takes me away from doing this passion project, or pursuing my passion in the photography and creating content. So it's a double-edged sword, because I know that this is what I want to do even more than that. But that's something that I love to do, like, this much less, It's just like right under there. So it's something that I know that I will always be doing, but I don't want it to be the main source, because I see so much more potential on this platform. And I know that there's so much more potential, because what is literally considered a drop in the bucket to the finances that could be made on this platform is more than what I can make with my Mr. Fix-It. And that's just being honest, So coming to that conclusion, and then the other thing, that the state of the, of the world right now, if the powers that be decide to close down trading routes and all this stuff, I've mentioned it before, I fix iPhones, but I need those parts to fix the iPhone. And if I don't have those parts, which I don't make, I'm SOL, I'm no longer Mr. Fix-It. So with that understanding is where I know that the potential for this platform, and the fact that I'm actually creating the product, is where I have the limitless possibilities of, like, creating a financial, like, stability much better, a much better life for me and for my son through this platform than the method that I have right now, which I'm completely grateful for. But I'm just, like, speaking honestly, and I see so much more here on this platform that there's no reason. There's, like, I will only live with regret if I do not do this. That's all I can tell you. Like, and there's no cure for regret, as in life. It's just the thing that will eat you up inside. I listen to a lot of Gary Vee, and Gary Vee's always harping about that. He's like, visit like a retirement home and start asking people, like, what is, like, the biggest thing that they wish they can do, and it always is based around the regret. So try to live your life without regrets, and I think that's the only thing that we can do. I went on a rant on that. Let's get back to the chat. Okay, where are we? Okay, we were talking about subscribers saying yes. Twitter Spaces. How much does it take to make a decent amount on YouTube? Congrats on 400. Thank you guys. You guys are part of the motivation of what keeps me making this. So thank you. Okay, says Mario, I believe YouTubers need 1,000 subs to get monetized, but as far as going full-time, I've heard of YouTubers as early as 15k subs. I often hear sponsors coming after 20k. Yeah, that's actually all correct, Raymond, but it depends on your determined aspect. It depends on how hard you want to work at it, because right now I can wait for sponsors to come to me, or I can do what I've heard and was mentioned to me and I started to implement, is like, what brands do you want to work with? What brands do you want to work with right now to become a full-time content creator? Like, that's, thinking about it and thinking that monetizing your channel could only happen through YouTube itself. Yeah, the metrics are 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours within a like moving date within 365 days. So on a moving counter that constantly goes, your last 365 days, you constantly need to have over 4,000 watch hours and 1,000 subscribers on your channel to be monetized and become part of the YouTube Partner Program. But let me give you an example. On the bottom of the screen right now, there's a scrolling text that says buymeacoffee.com/MrCameraJunkie. I'm also giving thanks to the people who've donated and supported me through that like channel, through that method. I don't think that it could take up to 1,000 or up to 15,000 subs to go full time. I think what you need to do is find your hardcore community. And there's a content creator, Pat Flynn. He's one of the two who created the Switch Pod that most people are very familiar with. He recently just finished a stint of 365 days of continuous live streaming. So I did 31 days straight of live streaming, and I was like, and then Pat Flynn's like 365. I was like, oh, okay, no. No, because the funny thing is that once I found Pat Flynn, I started like visiting in his live streams, and he constantly references to getting 1,000 super fans. Okay, 1,000 of your like tried and true, so to speak. Your hardcore fan base, and once you have that, you're pretty much set. Because the rest is just gonna like build up and follow. I constantly reference this, and I bring this back to the Cheesecake Factory. I used to work there. Nobody here that has heard of the Cheesecake Factory has heard of the Cheesecake Factory because they saw a commercial on TV. Because they do not advertise on TV. They just advertise by you, word of mouth, making the experience and the food that you had at that restaurant so good that you needed to talk about it. And that's where the super fans aspect comes in. Once you have your hardcore camera junkies, then those are the people who are going to propel you to the heights that you want to reach, because they're the ones who have your back. A great example of this is someone who I follow myself. Her name is Sarah Dici. She's a tech YouTuber. Sarah Dici rhymes with peachy. That's her little slogan, so that you could remember the pronunciation of her last name. She's a great content creator. But she was creating her content, and she had her hardcore fans. And she made a video based around Casey Neistat, and she just made the video, but it was her fans who went up to bat for her super fans, and just kept hounding Casey Neistat like at the height and the pinnacle of his like vlogging career on this platform. And it wasn't like he did much, but what he did was just he mentioned the video that she made in regards to him, to his fan base, and that changed her entire life overnight, because that went from like 5,000 fans or 5,000 subscribers to her channel to I think over 100,000 who reciprocated with her style of content that were following Casey. So that's a great example of seeing how that it doesn't take 15,000 subs and things like that to, it does to reach the metrics like that. It doesn't take 20,000 subs for brand deals to come to you, when you can make out a list of people that you want to, make brand deals with, And just what you need to do is start a relationship. Hit the people up on Twitter. Start posting their information based around the brand that you want to communicate with, and create an open line of communication. And maybe do a little research on who are the points of contact with those companies that you want to work with. And you'd be surprised that channels with a lot less than 5,000, less than 1,000, actually have brand deals and have fully sponsored videos. You know, someone who's on the platform right now who's been blowing up, Eric, over 1 million subscribers in less than a year. That was his mission. He was like, I want 1 million subscribers, and every video was based around that. Like my road to 1 million. There was planning, thought out, and before he even had 1 subscriber, before there was even 1 video on his channel, his videos were already sponsored and monetized. It goes to show you, you know, there's a lot of things, a lot of YouTube secrets that people don't know that happen on this platform. Like, a lot of people heard about that snake girl with the van. Also, yeah, when her video came out, it blew up everywhere. Right now, her fan base is not even towards the hype of the amount of views that that first video got. But what most people don't know is that the entire prep of her van, the layout of her channel, the idea, everything was thought out of 6 months in advance. And there was multiple people like brainstorming on how to make this the most viable content to make like a viral video to hit as soon as it came out and be pushed correctly. Most people don't know that. Most people just hear the story. Oh, did you hear the van girl with the snake? And yeah, but you dig a little bit under and you start realizing that there was a lot of planning before these things that supposedly just go viral because they're lucky, because it's not really all that much luck. It's a lot of hard work, and most people don't see what goes on behind the scenes. They just see the finished product. So hopefully that helps out a lot of people. That's one of the things that helps me out, because I know that I'm gonna be able to reach my goals by the end of this year, and it has nothing to do with my subscriber count. That's something that I cannot control. When you really think about it, how many subscribers I have and how fast or how slow they come in, I have absolutely no control over that. What I have control over is creating as much content and making as much value as I can, so that people reciprocate with that value and then want to join in on this journey, you know, on my YouTube experience and my photography experience. So I really hope that helps, because I'm not trying to knock. I'm just trying to enlighten and say, you know what? There's plenty on this platform. You know, whenever I hear somebody saying that this platform's oversaturated, it's oversaturated with viewers. It's oversaturated with people who are dying to meet you, so to speak. You know, your audience is already here on the platform. They just haven't met you yet. So the more that you're able to put yourself out here on the platform, the more possibilities you have for somebody to find your content. Because how can I expect, when I had zero planning, you understand? Zero backing, zero understanding of this platform, and I create my first video and expect that to go viral? I look at the way that I titled my my video, the way that I made the thumbnail originally. Like, none of that was designed or thought out to a point to make a video go through the roof. So with that, I now understand, which is why I think I started this stream talking about that, which is I look back at my content now and there's some things that I cringe about, but it's just a learning curve. And, you know, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. And that's where I just started to realize that, you know, I got into a point where I'm not even worried about the metrics on my latest video. I'm not, because I don't have time to do that. You know, it's not like I'm knocking it, because I do like to research, but right now I'm already trying to plan my next video and how I need to shoot B-roll for this next edit. And I'm thinking about making shorts, and the next ones that I already have planned out, my ideas, my goals, and all of these things. Collaborations with other content creators, different forms of monetization. Tom Buck, I was actually talking about that and multiple people, like, a YouTube channel can have 15 to 17 different streams of monetization coming in. Once you get that, it's not like you're trying to, grab the bag. It's just, there's so much like residual coming in from so many different possibilities, because it's always dependent on you, that you can have up to 15, 17 different forms of monetization coming in, which will allow you to do that, to go full time. And I guess that I bring that up because Tom recently, yesterday was his last day. We all heard it on Peter's live stream. I was already privy to it from the week before, that Friday was going to be his last day. And it's, Tom is awesome. So Tom's got this on lock. That's all I can say. All Tom has to do is worry about what he worries about, which is creating his content. And that's where I thank Tom for being like an inspiration, in the conversations that we've had, because he's also enlightened me to that aspect, that it's like, you know what, if you just stick to it, you just keep working at it, like, it's gonna work out, because your audience is already here. They just haven't found you yet. Okay, so Mario's saying hi to Raymond. Let me get back to the chat. Luis is saying it's not about subscribers, it's all about the watch time and the views. That's true. That's what people can better the pay once you meet the requirements to be monetized. Consistent is the key to success. Yeah, and there's other things like, always to explain. You don't want to curse, okay? You don't want to start being profane and just saying, oh, but that's how I am. Okay, you can be that way, but if you're going to work, right? Like, let's say you're going to work, you're not going to be the same person that you're going to be at the bar hanging out with your friends. So when you're at work, you're not going to be speaking profanities. So if you're going to be taking this as a business, then think of it as a business. So why would you not want to, I guess, censor yourself and not be profane? Well, how you get paid on this platform through the monetization side that is being brought up right now is through advertisers. A lot of advertisers are not going to want to advertise in front of a video that has profane or cursing in the video. So yeah, you're cutting your possible subscribers, or possible advertisers on your channel by probably more than half. So then your CPM, which is your cost per mil of how much money that YouTube will actually get you per 1,000 views, is going to be a lot lower than someone who has cleaner content. So all these things are things that you need to put into consideration, but you need to put thought into it if you're going to be looking at this as a viable business source, because it's an incredible business, but you have to put thought into it. Okay, one second. I need to hydrate. I'm acting like Nez right now. The pollen has me sneezing. Oh man. For those of you who said happy spring, yeah, spring's got my allergies going crazy. Okay, so Luis had mentioned this. Says YouTube requirements: 1,000 subs, 4,000 hours in order to get monetized. Once you meet the requirements, you need to pay $100 cumulative. I don't know if I said that right. By the pay date in order to get the money. Oh, so you need to make at least $100 to like get a payout. Mario saying, "Oh, congrats on 400. You deserve it. Be proud of yourself." Thank you. Yes. I'm also taking the time, and it's not to be like boastful, but to actually acknowledge and, like I said, yeah, like take credit. I don't know if it's take credit, but yeah, to celebrate these milestones for the reason that they only happen once. You know, like I'm only gonna get to be at 400 subscribers and reach this milestone once, because it's only gonna snowball from here, you know. So I'm never gonna see that number again on my channel. So I have to, you know, celebrate it and admire it right now while it's happening, and not be at 1,000 subscribers and be like, you know what, I should have said something, even if it was just that, to say I reached 400. That's such a cool milestone for me. So, but thank you once again. Okay, so Luis says YouTube requirements part 2. If you don't have $100 by the pay date, whenever you have it, it goes towards the next pay date until you make $100 in your account in order to pay out. Yep, and then the other thing is that YouTube takes 30% of all of your earnings. So that's all included. So if you're making super chats, I believe that gets all pulled in together. But those are all the things that are available once you're at that monetization. You see, that's another good way of thinking about this. Like right now, if somebody wanted to give me a super chat, right, of $5 or $10, there would be no possible way for that happening until I reach YouTube's metrics. But with the buy me a coffee, somebody can just say, I want to buy you a cup of joe. It's $5, and I get it right away. That's the other thing. You get it right away with the buy me a coffee. As soon as, you know, the person decides to support you, I'm talking about like digitally, like right away, like within an hour, it's already there and you're able to use it. Whenever you do it through YouTube, you meet the requirements, and then you have to wait like 2 or 3 months before the payout actually rolls out to get to you. And then you'll be on a consistent, like, you know, month to month basis. But it's almost like when we used to get jobs back in the day, that they would hold like the 2 weeks, you know, for like your payment schedule. But it's 2 months with YouTube. 2 payment cycles. Mario says Spanish, but you are Puerto Rican. And you don't know who Dave Valentin is. Congratulations on that. You're on a roll with a great future. Hard work, the luckier you get. Yes. I always, you know, I love stand-up comedy. One of my favorite stand-up comedians, going from back in the day, Steve Martin, has a very famous quote that I always refer back to. And he says, "It took me 10 years of hard work to become an overnight success." Listen to that. It took me 10 years of hard work to become an overnight success. He worked hard and long before he got recognized, you know, and then everybody was like, where'd this guy come from? An overnight success. And it's nothing overnight. 10 hard years. But you know what? Going back to it, I'm not a traditional Puerto Rican, and I always say that. I'm actually not a traditional, like, person. I really don't even keep up with standard current events. You know, people mention celebrities, and I have no idea. So it's just, yeah, I've definitely not kept up with the times. Okay, so we got some more chats here. Says, Remember, being a content creator, monthly income is not the same until you get a established routine float. Just being honest, stability is not there at the beginning. Yeah, but the thing is that this is where I do understand, and I don't take anything away, but that's where I tell everyone that my situation is a bit different, because I'm already an entrepreneur. My business of doing the repairs is just like a YouTube, you know? There is nothing guaranteed, so what I put in is what I get out of it. Now, at the same time, what I'm putting into my business is my hard work. What I'm not doing right now is I'm not advertising, and my phone keeps ringing because of the work that I put in, the quality of work that I'm giving to my clients, and everything is word of mouth. Like I bring back the Cheesecake Factory. So you get to this point where your rapport, your body of work speaks for itself, and you no longer have to advertise about yourself because you've gotten that ball rolling through your hard work or through your body of work. And that's what I know that I'm going to be putting in this work on my channel this year. And by the end of this year, I know that it will be to a point where it has snowballed enough that things have already been moving into the right position. Like, all I have to do is worry about creating my content. And that's why, like, right now I'm using, ECamm, and I'm getting this great opportunity with becoming an affiliate with them. So that's going to also open a bunch of doors that I'm excited to, see what's on the other side. But because of that, I know that I'm going to be able to reach all of my personal goals because of the way that I've already laid out, It's what you do when nobody's watching that really matters to your outcome. So when people come and they see like that overnight success and be like, hey, where did this MrCameraJunkie come from? It's not going to be because I didn't put in the work. Now, I do want to share something else with you guys. I don't know if you're familiar with another content creator, Jesse Driftwood. Awesome content creator. He's someone that I follow on this platform as well. And I was lucky enough to speak with him in a clubhouse room. And he recognized me, which was... And he was like, hey, MrCameraJunkie, Luis. Is it Luis or Luis? And I've been seeing you around and on the platform. And so what it gave me to believe was that I came up on Jesse Driftwood's like feed on YouTube, which is the fact that he recognized my face is amazing. So that was like, that's something that happened this week that I'm glad I was able to share with you guys, because that's just one of the many things that is allowing me to understand that what I'm doing is working. My hard work is leading to the things that I want and that I will have, because success will have me. I'm so sorry. The sinus is getting to me right now. Give me 1 second. I could even hear my voice has changed because it's so much more nasally. Another Puerto Rican, aka Boricua, on the live stream. Yes, sir. It says, you are your own author of your own book. No need co-authors to help you write your own story. That's awesome, man. I love that. Says, I know a content creator that had 300 subscribers, got a sponsored deal with Mobile Xfinity, and now is a content creator with 5.32 thousand subscribers, showing that it's possible. Yeah, I can tell you, like, and you, that Professor Nez is more new to the live streams that I partake. I've been on Nick Niman's Saturday live stream for a lot longer than that. It's creeping up on a year now. And what I've learned, the stories, the people, there's just one, like, like I'm being ADD right now because I have like so many ideas that I just want to express. There's this one kid who decided to start doing desk setups, like how I set up my computer and how I do this, and made a couple of YouTube videos about it. Got a sponsorship with IKEA. They're like, we love your videos. We want you to do what you're doing. We're going to pay you to do it. We're going to pay like your lifestyle. Like, okay, you're getting a contract, okay? And all we're asking you to do is to do what you're doing already with your desk setups, but use our desks. Oh, we're going to provide them too. They provide the materials. He uses them. He creates content for his channel, and he's getting paid by IKEA to use the stuff that they gave to him. Young cat, and is already made so much money on this platform that he can retire now if he wanted to. That's the potential in this platform. Okay, so let's see where we're at here. Okay, so it says buy me a coffee, Cash App, and PayPal if you're not monetized. I have all of those three. I actually got into Cash App through my Mr. Fix-It. It was my own clients that were saying, yo, you have Cash App so I can pay you? And I was just like, that, Zelle stuff, and all those things are amazing. But yes, definitely highly recommend. Well, guys, we've been on for 2 hours. This has been an awesome live stream. But I am going to call it a night. I reached the end of the chat, which I didn't think I was going to do. I want to thank for everyone who's still hanging out. Or saying we got 7 people still here. Okay, if you're still here and you haven't hit the like button, please do that. I highly appreciate it. It goes a long way. Once again, I want to thank everyone for hanging out. A great milestone, 400. Let's see when I reach 500. And I say when because it's an inevitability. It's inevitable to happen because there's no quit in me. I will continue to work. I will continue to put out the content. So the ball is in my court. It's all up to me. And if this doesn't work, it will only be because I allowed it to not work, so to speak. So I guess I'm losing my train of thought, but I'm going to leave it with that. Thank you for everyone who's commented, who hung out. Mario, Luis, Raymond, if you guys are still here. Joanna took off. Andre. Who else is here? We had Sammy and Sly. Oh, Callie was here. Scott. So I don't know who's still hanging around here. Peter was in the house today. This is so cool. This program is actually working so well. There was no hiccups, right? I'm going to check it out, obviously. I'm going to spend another 2 hours of my life checking out this live stream. I got to do it, especially for this first stream. And but yes, I want to thank everyone once again. Rob, he said he was going to check the replay as well. Randall, as always, thank you for hanging out. Stay safe, okay? I'm going to see all of you guys next week, and we're going to catch up. We'll see what new milestones, what new things we can actually, like help each other out, motivate each other, and keep ourselves going, keep ourselves accountable. And another good quote to leave on, the rising tide raises all ships together, the rising tide. So we're all here in a community, and when the tide comes to rise, all the boats that are in the water, they're going to rise together. So we're just going to do it together. So thanks again for hanging out. Oh, we got a couple more messages. Says ECamm is doing great, Lewis. Chat has gone down twice. but no Windows updates. Well, you see, I don't know about the chat going down twice. I guess I'll check that out as well. But good night, everyone. Yes, good night. Stay safe, and I will see you guys next time. Take it easy. Have a great night. And this is the outro.